zombie apocalypse.
Hello guys, how's everything going? Today's video, I'll show you how to tack together some 45s. Now, doing these 45s, there's a few different methods. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm going to go over what I find the fastest and easiest way to do it, and that's using the table. You can use the vise, but I'm not into that today. So yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to start off by tacking one of the sides of the 45 to this here is basically a big square, just like this. And instead of putting the 45 and then shimming it so it doesn't move, I bring it to here and I just tack it on and it doesn't move. So this is a square here, so the back side's squared, and I just square the front and I put a tack on it. Now, if you notice, I put my tack this side here. If you put a tack on the top, when it shrinks, it tends to pull the 45 up. So I put it on the side as much as I can, so it just shifts it sideways rather than up. Here's my piece of pipe that I'm going to put onto here. But how do I know how big this pipe is? So here's the formula to work out how big of a piece of pipe you need between the two 45s. So if you look closely at this here is a breakdown of the measurement and the set that I need. So the set that I'm working to is a 200mm set. So that means from this point here upwards to this point here is 200mm. And then because it's a set, it's a square set as well. So it's also 200mm from here to here as well. So sometimes the drawings give you both measurements, other times they don't. But in this case here, we know both of them is 200 because it's a square. So trying to work out the travel from corner to corner, you times the set by 1.414. Now that's the formula that we use, or I use, to work out this travel. So let's do it here. 200 times 1.414. Now that gives you 282.8. Now that's to the two centers. Now we need to minus the fittings on both sides and the gap to work out the piece of pipe left in the middle. So if I minus, so a 4-inch 45 is 64mm. So if I minus 64 for one side, 64 for the other side, minus your two gaps, 3mm each, which is 6mm, that gives me 148. Let's round it up to 149, and that's how big this piece here is that goes into there. Now if you've got a 45 and an elbow, for example, or a T, instead of minusing 64 both times, you would minus an elbow here or a T, and then it gives you the same calculation, same measurement at the end. So now we can tack this together. So this, just double checking, making sure it's still square. Lovely. So I'm making this on the table, and I'm just gonna bring my pipe up. You can use your spacer just to be doubly sure, or you know what you like to weld. So I know what I like to weld, so I'm just gonna bring it out as much as I do. Double check. Sweet, now I can put a tack on it and then move on. I hate the smell. So pipe alignment's still good. Depending on where you work or what you can do, you can put a tack on the inside and then you definitely know it's not going to pull. I'm going to show you how to do it without tacking on the inside. But it's more accurate to tack on the inside now than later. Now you grab your other 45, you bring it along, hold it, get your square. And then you square the face of this 45 while pulling out your gap, double checking again, making sure the gap is good. go, now I can tack it again. I didn't like them tacks. So now it's tacked up now. I can take it off of here. And I like to look underneath it just to make sure that it's running flat. If you see underneath there. Now that's nice and flat. So I flip it over. Tacking this orientation is a bit more of a guessing game than before because things can move even more. But I use my shims. I'll just basically shim it the slightest bit. I shim it the slightest bit. And then just double check, make sure it's square on both sides. That side there is square. What am I looking for now? That side's square. Square as well, bang on. So now I can tack my two other sides. Now this here is the easy part, and just to show you, if I was making it in the vise, I'll just use my level off the center piece of the pipe, and then use my level to turn the orientation of the 45, put a tack on it, and then check the level of this, maybe raise it up or lower it down to put my other tacks on, to be at this stage here. But that's the easy part. The hard part now is making sure that your set is okay. So what I like to do is to raise my pipe up like this, and I put a tack at the back just to hold it. One technique to do, if you raise the pipe a little bit, tack it, and then gravity pulls it down and it sits flat. So now that there, double check, sitting perfectly flat on my table. Perfectly flat. And then what I like to do as well, before I start anything is I equal out all the gaps. Providing that my first tacks are within reasonable positions, all you should really have to do is square off, equal out these gaps, and then check the measurement, and hopefully it will be good. If not, you've got to do a bit of playing about. So them gaps are looking even. Now because this is sitting perfectly flat, I should know now that this level here can be transferred along the whole length of it. So that's level there. This needs to be over more. Let's double check, see what the 45 is saying. There's different methods of tools that you can use to check the 45. This level here has a 45-degree surface. This has got a 45-degree bubble. You got your digital levels, and then you've also got the speed square if you haven't got any of these 45s. That you basically put on the pipe like this, and you put your level on top of it. Simple as that. So if you look at this level here, my table's pretty level. So if I pull this shim out, it should move. Pretty level. This needs to move over more. Pretty level. So everything is in its pretty level position. Now I can double check the set, because the set's the most important. That shows how high, what the height difference is between the two of these are. With that, comes to my big square. You lay the square in this position here. And then you measure. So you need to work out what the center to center mark is. Doing that is a guessing game. So what I do, if you measure from the end to end, it's the same measurement as center to center. I'll give you an example. Here's two random pieces of pipe. Now, if I guess what the center to center is, that's about 80 mil right there. Guessing center to center is 80 mil. But the same calculation can be done. The same, you can work out what it is by the end of here to the end of here, 80 mil. And the same way, this end here to this end here, if I could measure it that way, would be 80 mil. That's just a more better, accurate way of knowing what the center to center measurement is. So this is off. This here is the moment of truth, because it can either be an easy job to do or a hard job to do, depending on what this measurement shows right now. So let's see, 200 mil. Bang on 200 mil. Bang on 200 mil. Now that's without any playing around. But it's only got rough measurements, but it's always good to put it into a rough measurement and the measurements be bang on. So now I know I can level this off 45 and get everything exactly on and check again. These levels here. If you're going to buy any levels, I would always suggest the Stabilisers. They have the best bubble that I find. And I've been using my old one here for a couple years. Just one level for a couple years and it still survived. So this bubble here is slightly to the left. So I'll pull my shim out a little bit. And now it's slightly to the right. So I can put a tack on the back. It's gonna naturally shrink and pull the level this direction here, which would compensate, because I can't really get up underneath here, so I'm gonna have to tack it, snap the tack off, pull it down and then tack the other side properly. So that's gonna pull, I need that to pull over to this direction a little bit. Same thing here, this is touching the bubble on the left. I meant bubble on the right, sorry. Pull that shim out. Now if I tack the two of these edges, it's all going to shrink in, but I'm compensating for it here. Now I'm going to check one more time. Again, bang on, 200 mil, perfect. So let me tack it now. Move these levels out of the way, don't want to splatter on it. I'm going to see if I can reach underneath. Okay, luckily I was able to reach underneath, otherwise I would have tacked the two tops, snapped it off, and then tacked the two bottoms. So yes, lovely. Now this is tacked up, just like this. Now, with the set measurement, from here to there is 200. So it's 200 going upwards as well as 200 going horizontally, which is your set. Now that's the fast way of working it out and tacking it together. There's other ways, but personally myself, I don't use anything other than this kind of way. Now, say you've got the piece of pipe is even longer with a bigger set. Now, what I do is 2 ways. This is my big square. So I can work up to heights this big. How much is that? It looks like a meter, so I can go up a meter. And if the pipe is even bigger, as long as I can handball it, meaning it's not silly size that it's too heavy, I'll turn it around like this, and I would stick the big square on top of the pipe like here, and then I would use my level as a straight edge to continue down, and I can measure my way out. So let's check with the digital level. We zero it. It's a £10 level, so don't believe it too much. That should hopefully say 45. 46.6, 47 degrees. To make 45, that's almost nothing. A mil. Yeah, the reading's going all over the place, but I'm happy with that. I only bought that for just to reassure myself when I'm making certain pipes. Another way of checking it, but you need 2 people. So here's another way of doing it. Here's my cameraman helping me out. So you put it along, and you can either check how straight they are together along this line or this line, or you can bring it out and then check how straight they are together like this. Now, this is us checking it once it's done. What you'd have to do then is, if you've got your 2 tacks, you'd have to square everything off, split the difference, get equal gaps, and then double check to see if that's the right way. Personally, I'm always working alone, so I prefer my method. Enjoyed this. This has been part 3 on the series of basically running through making your first pipe basically. The first video was hanging flanges, the second video was an elbow, now the 45. I'm going to carry on doing say sockets, square branches, and then finally end up with a real time making a 2.5-inch hockey stick or something. So if you enjoyed what you see, please leave a like, drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.